So what does Tariq Rahman's return now mean for Bangladesh's turbulent politics? Joining me now is Jyoti Rahman, economist who's been close to the BNP. He joins me from Melbourne. Shafkat Rabi is political columnist, founder of Centrist Nation, joins me from Dhaka. And Shubir Bhaumik, senior journalist and author who's tracked and knows Bangladesh inside out. Thank you all very much for joining us. Jyoti Rahman, you know Tariq Rahman and the BNP well. Is he the face of Bangladesh for the future and certainly of the BNP after 17 years in exile?
Yes, he absolutely is. You would have seen from his speech in Dhaka, he made two very specific points. One is that he's committed to peace and stability. That's the one thing that Bangladesh needs right now. That's the one thing that the people are crying out for. And the other thing he has said is that there is a plan. He has a plan. And this plan for restoring economic growth, plan for stabilizing politics, plan for restoring social harmony. These things, BNP has been formulating these plans. They have been consulting with stakeholders. They have been consulting inside the country as well as outside. So he's absolutely the face, and he's absolutely what is needed in Bangladesh right now.
You're saying he's going to bring peace and stability. Shafkat Rabi, do you believe it's so simple? Given the turbulence we've just seen in the last few days, there was another bomb blast yesterday. There have been these targeted attacks, including on Hindu minorities, and a general sense that the students' movement, particularly after Osman Hadi's killing, has only gathered further momentum. Is it easy to restore peace and stability overnight?
No stability comes overnight, but with the arrival of Tariq Rahman in Bangladesh, majority of the uncertainty around election and Bangladesh's democratic transition becomes inevitable. All the cloud around this transition is now gone. The country will move into overdrive and the election campaigns will start in full swing. And that's very good for democracy, very good for overall stability of Bangladesh and the wider region.
But an election without the Awami League, will that be taken seriously by the world community, Mr. Shafi there?
I mean, Awami League fled from Bangladesh. It was not something that the government or anyone did. So you cannot force someone to come back unless they do on their own. So that aspect cannot be lost in our analysis of the situation.
And also, I should add that the people are free to vote.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I should also add with what Rabi has said.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I should also just add that people are free to vote any individuals. The Awami League individuals are still in Bangladesh. They can run as independents. And if people choose them, then why not? So there is this fallacy that Awami League is not allowed to run or Awami League is booted out. That's not true. Individuals are free to do whatever they want as long as they don't have criminal charges against them, which is the case anywhere.
Well, the context here is that...
Shubir Bhaumik, you're listening to these voices. Do you really believe, Shubir Bhaumik, that with the return of Tariq Rahman, we're seeing the doors of democracy opening? Or is this now going to be democracy as dictated in a way?
No, I don't think democracy can be dictated, not even in Bangladesh. But, Tariq Rahman's return is a welcome development for the very simple reason that the BNP, which appeared to be in a bit of disarray, because, you can't fight a war without a general, and they have now got their general back home. It will be, of course, too much to presume that Tariq Rahman, who has been away for 17 years, can get a grip on the situation right away. As Shafkat rightly said, nothing happens instantly. You can have instant coffee, but in politics, there's no scope for, an instant sort of reward. But Tariq Rahman's returning certainly means that BNP will stabilize as a political party. They have some problems. All mass parties have this, 3-4 candidates vying for one particular constituency, factionalism, but it should not be overemphasized. As far as Awami League's contesting or not contesting is concerned, well, I don't quite agree with what, a friend of panelists have said. Awami League not contesting the election is something like Congress not allowed to contest elections in India. Nobody has fled. Awami League people are very much in Bangladesh. Some of their top leaders have fled, and they have criminal cases against them. So in any case, they can't contest. But if a party cannot contest with its own symbol, well, it says a bit. It says quite a bit about how the democratic exercise will pan out. But something is better than nothing. So it's important that BNP stabilizes and contests the elections, and there are other parties in the fray. It's important now to ensure that the elections are held and not postponed or deferred under one pretext or another, which we have seen in the past few months. That should happen. The elections should definitely take place on February 12th, with whatever limitations. It is an important thing to happen. And then everybody in the world, including India, can deal with an elected government. Sorry?
But Shubir, the concern has been in the past, the BNP, whenever the BNP has been in power in Bangladesh, we've seen also a rise in anti-India sentiments, or certainly relations between India and the Awami League far better between New Delhi and Awami League than they were when the BNP was in power, when Begum Zia was in power. Is there a fear of that? We've seen already a rising tide of anti-India sentiments. Will they grow if the BNP were to come to power? Would Tariq Rahman become the face of that?
No, I don't think Tariq Rahman, who has gained in wisdom over the years, will actually prop up anti-Indian sentiments. There are already a lot of anti-Indian sentiments there, which has been fanned to flames by, fundamentalist elements. We've seen that, how it has panned out. But Tariq Rahman, if he's serious about governing, I don't think he's going to, sort of prop up anti-Indian sentiments, because if he wins the election on its own, with the Awami League out of the way, there is no real reason for Tariq Rahman or the BNP to fan anti-Indian sentiments, for the very simple reason that Awami League is out of the fray. Most of the people, most of parties who actually fan anti-Indian sentiments in Bangladesh do it to counter the Awami League. We have seen that in the past. So there is no real reason for Tariq Rahman, and I think after 17 years out of power, he's much wiser now. Age has its own impact, and there is no real reason for him to actually prop up anti-Indian sentiments, because there is enough of it on the other side of the fence, because now he's going to contest, most probably he's going to contest against some parties like Jamaat, with whom BNP has been having electoral tie-ups before. So I don't think Tariq Rahman would really have any reason to prop this whole up. And we can hope that India can deal with an elected government, whoever comes to power.
Jyoti Rahman, can we be that sanguine about the fact that Tariq Rahman, will he be able to keep groups like Jamaat away? Will he take on groups like the Jamaat? Will he take on fundamentalist elements that are rearing their head in Bangladesh? Is he willing to do that? Or will he accommodate and appease them?
So we have to distinguish between the Islamist parties that are democratic, that are contesting the elections, versus other groups that are partaking in the advantage of a weak law and order situation. So the former, and Jamaat is included in that, if they're contesting the election, they have their manifesto, and they have in the past had something like 15-20% votes, or whatever numbers may be. The opinion polls suggest 20-25, whatever percent of votes that they get. That's part of the democratic fabric. However, the groups that are not democratic, that are not partaking in elections, I expect they will be dealt with in accordance with sort of law and order, improving law and order, stability, peace, harmony, all of those things. So one thing that has happened in Bangladesh after Hasina fled is that the police administration was extremely weak, because police were heavily politicized by the Hasina regime. So the police administration has to be rebuilt, and an interim government is not really capable of doing that anywhere in the world. You need a democratically elected government that has popular mandate to be in government for 5 years. Only they can do those kind of rebuilding institutions kind of things. So what you see in terms of Islamist violence in many
Shafkat
cases
Rabi, a
is
final
basically
word.
for that.
Shafkat?
Yes, sir.
Shafkat Rabi, a final word. Do you believe that the elections will be held on time now? Will they be held in February, or will they get postponed on another pretext? Or now that Rahman is back, it's almost certain elections will take place as scheduled?
Yes, so the man who was banned from talking to the public for 17 years came back to Bangladesh with 6+ million people in attendance, which is a huge political development in Bangladesh, and that will bring the weight of a major political party blessing the election and contesting the election in full swing. So we have no doubts that the election will be held. Major political parties will show up, and the government has repeatedly reassured that the February 12th date is confirmed. So all uncertainties are probably gone by now. Election will be held.
Okay, let's leave it there. We'll keep tracking the situation in our turbulent neighbors' politics, because it has an impact, of course, on what happens in this country as well. But I appreciate my guest joining me to tell us the importance of Tariq Rahman returning to Dhaka after 17 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you.